Remember the fart?
Hey, it's me, Erin. Thanks for joining us on the More Love podcast. Do not tell Rebecca, but this podcast is about empathy. She likes people to think she's dead inside, but the truth is she's a big-time feeler who has truly helped me uncover that empathy is my superpower. Oh, here she comes.
Hey, bestie.
Hi, love.
What are you doing?
Oh, just getting ready to host a podcast.
A podcast? About what?
Life. Our life as best friends who are more like sisters.
Ah, yay! I love us, and I can't wait to share our stories with the world.
Especially the ones that involve us pushing each other, right? To be our most authentic selves.
Oh, man. Okay.
What's up there, acid blood? Oh my gosh. Toxic blood venom. I'm going to have all these nicknames for you.
My new ringtone should be Britney Spears song.
What?
The toxic. Yeah.
Oh,
Toxic.
So Rebecca had to go get some blood work done. Anyone who knows.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone who knows Rebecca knows going to get her blood done, ain't it?
Ain't it?
It ain't it. You have to coax her in there with a cookie and like some lemonade. And
One time you lied to me.
The promise of lunch afterwards.
You said, come on, we're going to lunch. And then we pulled into the blood lab. I go, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Well, this first. You're like, I'm not doing it. And then you're in there and the woman's like, what's the matter? You're like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here at all. But she went in by herself, guys, which is a really big deal. And she came out and basically the results said she has toxic blood. So her levels of toxicity are
acidy.
Up in one, down in the other. So she's fire blood, which doesn't surprise anyone
like
who listens to it is fire ant crotch. It doesn't surprise anyone who listens to the show that there is just venom running through your veins.
Well,
Complete
we
venom.
don't know that. That's what I Googled.
Okay.
I'm going today to the doctor to get the official
actual results.
I just looked. Apparently now I have a my chart.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, because
you've never had that before. Why haven't you had that before?
Because I went to a mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
And they don't believe in electric.
Why don't we talk for a second about that doctor? He's my favorite before we get to our special guest who's coming in today or who's here today. So Rebecca used to have this doctor. As you've heard us say before, we go to each other's doctor's appointments because it's just easier than if we try and explain it to each other after.
Right.
And so I had to go when you first got diagnosed with shingles. You said, could you please come in and talk to him about my mental health? Because he wants a full picture of what's going on with my full-on health. And I said, absolutely. And so she doesn't tell me anything about this doctor.
No.
And we walk in.
I can't look at you. I can't look at you.
It's this tiny little waiting room area and it's fine. Everything's going completely to plan. And we walk in and it's a very nice doctor's office and you're sitting in the little thing and I'm sitting over across the way on the little spinny stool. And then Frank walks in.
Yeah, Dr. Frank.
Dr. Frank walks in. What happened after that is unreal. It's absolutely, I wouldn't have believed this if someone told me that this happened. This man walks in with a poster board. He's got a poster board. Okay. And on the poster,
this is the primary care physician. This is not a psychiatrist.
Nope.
This is my primary care.
Primary care. Just normal, run-of-the-mill.
I'm getting my physical.
Everything okay. Physical for school physician. Walks in with a poster board and a marker.
Yeah.
And he's very excited to meet me. And he's like, I hear you're in the mental health field. This is great. So now just he and I are talking. Right. It's like you're not even there.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And then before you know it, I'm sitting there with Dr. Frank. And on this poster board, we're charting out your life's events.
My life timeline.
Every single event that you could possibly imagine he is literally like an architect. Yep. Just, it's one of those charts with the lines and the going up and then the circles and then all these things are in there because he wants to basically chart out when we got to shingles, what got us here, right? And so then at some point you start to go interject a little piece of information and he might as well have been no. And then looked over at me and asked for the real story.
Yeah,
right?
true. I know.
This guy's something else. This guy was given advice out of his lane like you would not believe. And then he starts into this whole story about how he lives in this 1-bedroom apartment to save money.
I can't look at you. I can't look at you.
You can't make this up. He lives in a 1-bedroom apartment to save money, and he has this screen that he pulls down every single morning when he's doing his running routine, and he projects like scenic trails on this. So it's like the cheap ass version of Peloton, right? Like he like bought this shit for $10 on Marketplace.
Oh my God. But so, he sleeps on a mattress on the floor.
Sleeps on a mattress on the floor. 5:30 in the morning. He's
This
up.
is your primary care physician?
Oh yeah. Primary care. Okay. He's up every morning. Gotta run. He's then telling me the financial situation between him and his ex-wife. Why he and his ex-wife were not together anymore. Why their relationship was so incredibly valuable when they were together. Why the only why he eats a complete vegetarian diet and really judges hard anyone who's eaten anything else. But he does like yogurt, and he will eat yogurt every single day,
beef jerky,
along with his vegetarian beef jerky. He has his yogurt and his vegetarian beef jerky every single morning. Then he's running.
What
then
time
he goes
does he go to
work. Well, he goes to work. He comes home, does the same routine every single day. Comes back, comes home, does whatever he needs to eat his vegetarian dinner, and his ass is in bed by 6:30 every single night. I'm not kidding. 6:30 p.m. Does not watch TV. Not interested.
The screen.
Yeah, because the screen has to project the nature trails, right? We leave that doctor's office, and I said, what quack ass provider do you go to? Are you sure it's even shingles? Like maybe it's like a rash at this point. What the hell is going on? So last part of the story, fast forward. This is to the point where I'm now have convinced her we need to go somewhere else. We are not allowed to stay here at this doctor anymore.
I continue to bring you with me because I can't make this shit up.
I'm invested at this point.
I know.
Full on invested. I know. Right? Keeps bringing the poster board in for every we're adding to it, right? Well, he's just like, so what's your relationship like with your husband?
Right.
How many children do you have?
Right.
Like the most random
Remember when
questions.
he asked me to see a family picture? And then he analyzed it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he analyzed the picture because you bring up a family picture. You brought up a family picture, and he, like a psychologist, Rorschach tested the shit out of that thing. So then, when was it? Like
we were in Boston.
Okay.
This is the phone call?
Yes. Oh. Why were we in Boston?
We were with Darnell at the
It was a conference?
NASPA. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't remember why I called him.
Okay. No, he called you.
Oh, he called me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So here we are sitting in that office, and you're like, Dr. Frank's calling. I'm like, I can't imagine
his personal cell.
What that is.
His personal cell.
Yeah, it was his personal cell. And he calls Rebecca specifically.
Yes.
Gets her on the line.
Yep.
And says, "Hey, Rebecca, Frank here. I was just calling you."
It's on speaker, so you can hear it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm in the bathroom actually at this point, but everyone knows I'm listening in.
Of course.
Minus Frank. He doesn't know I'm listening in.
Right.
So he says, I just wanted to personally call and let you know that I am leaving the practice. I'm leaving the practice. And you said, oh, Frank, wow, I am really sorry to hear that. Like, are you excited? Are you looking forward to what's next? He's like, absolutely. I really got a great opportunity out there in the Catskills where I'm going to be doing
emergency
room visits. Mm-hmm. And you said, great. You know, like, what was it that led to some of the changes? Or the reasons why you're leaving? Just wanted a different change of different change of pace. You're asking the most beautiful questions. And he goes, Rebecca, do you know that they charge me for health insurance?
You're going to kill her.
I come bolting out of the bathroom, staring. I'm like, is he for real right now? He's like, Rebecca, I don't know if you know this or not. You should check your pay stub. They charge you for health insurance. So Rebecca,
is he Canadian or something?
I don't think so. No. I just real out of touch. I think Catskills was the best place for this man. So she said, "Oh yeah, I think and he's like, "Do you know that health insurance costs?" Did you remember the amount he said? Whatever it was, I was like, "That's a good rate. You need to take that." Oh my God, that was really good. He's like, "Whatever," he said, $300 a month or something like that. And Rebecca's like, "Oh," and then she's holding in this absolute laughter because I
can't look at you.
I am beside myself right now. And he said, "I'm not paying that. That is something that should be paid for everyone." I'm like, universal health care supporter right there, friends. That's excellent. Thank you, Dr. Frank. Thank you. That's really great. Hell with the long wait times that causes. It doesn't matter. But you know what? You get your health played for. Mm-hmm. So
he's like, goodbye. I do EKGs on people all day long, but I don't get one.
Oh, yeah, right. I don't get one. I'm really getting sick and tired of ordering colonoscopies for people who get them paid. And I got to pay to get my colonoscopy. I'm like, we're getting punked. We are getting punked. There has to be some type of video thing in here. Mm-hmm. This is unreal. So that's the story of how we found a different provider. Yeah. This new provider is going to diagnose her with acid blood today.
Right, acid blood. Yeah. But I did recently get another text from Dr. Frank. He's back in town.
Great.
He's back in town.
For good?
Yeah, he's at a different practice.
Catskills didn't work for him. Okay.
He's probably back in his one bedroom.
Okay. We need to
call him past 6:30 p.m.
We do have to reconcile the questions we have about the life insurance. I wonder if he,
life insurance or health insurance?
Sorry, health insurance.
Oh, yeah.
If he maybe negotiated that as a part of his return date
maybe.
Or something. But yeah.
Yeah, so if anybody's interested, he's now back in Rochester area.
Yeah. Right. I think he's probably accepting a lot of new patients. I don't think people are running over there to find him.
Can't make this shit up, people.
Sounds like the kind of doctor that would prescribe granola for a problem or something like that.
Yeah, that wouldn't have surprised me.
Well, he's a pharmacist.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, he's a pharmacist.
He's a pharmacist.
Yes, he was a pharmacist. He's a pharmacist as well.
No, he showed me. Remember, I had to go to his office.
On the wall.
He taped all his certificates from all the states he's been in to his wall.
Right.
Taped them.
Yes.
They were printed out.
Frames are expensive.
Right.
They weren't Mexican diplomas or something, were they?
I don't know, but I did have to leave the room once and go in there and look.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah. But he wanted to show you because he wanted to make sure that you knew what a credible physician he was. Doesn't have his own health insurance, but
Bob's School of Pharmacology.
Yeah.
Now let's be clear. I did not pick him. My primary care doctor that I loved more than anything died.
Oh,
I know.
Just because he was old, not because he had bad health.
He did. He had lung cancer or something.
Okay.
He's the old school, like when they said doctors, when they would smoke, and they'd be like, "Yeah, that's why I smoke Cools, because this is..."
Yeah, right. Yeah, the menthol soothes the lungs.
So that's how I got doctor. I didn't like...
Yeah. No, you know what? I like to really see the positive in people, and what I would like to say about Dr. Frank is definitely a relational physician. Maybe a little too much, but very relational.
Yeah.
So
I got his cell phone number.
He's
like, just text me. It's fine. We'll
text
have a
me if you need anything.
Yeah.
You need extra prescription. Right? Yeah. I'm like, call that shit in.
I know.
I need some stuff.
I know.
See if he can do it for you. So anyway, that's what we're starting with today. But
I gotta go check. I'm not going back to Dr. Frank about my acid blood. I'm going to somebody else. Yeah. So we'll see. I'll give you the update.
Right. Yeah, we can't wait to hear what type of venom you're spewing at the next one. You know who's with us here today?
Nina
mozzarella stick. So cute. Just want to dip her in some sauce. So cute. Sauce. Put her right some sauce. Little Nina.
We wrote her a song.
We did write her a song. We did for her birthday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right after we did Can't Touch This.
Right. She was the one that we performed our really great dance for.
If that was really us in those costumes. But yes. So my Nina mozzarella stick is here with us today. Nina, Can you give us a general idea of how long ago it was that you submitted the email to be considered to be on the show?
You're an asshole.
6 months ago.
6 months. Thank you. And Rebecca, were we not able to get Nina into this time because of just how many people we have flooded to want to be guests? Or was there some other thing that was...
It's a long waiting list.
I see.
It's a very long waiting list.
I see.
And it's really hard to get to us.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. And here's a great example of boundaries. Because how many times, Nina, did you say to me, I've sent the form in to be on the show? I mean,
I didn't even know there was a form.
3 or 4 times, right? And what did I say to you every single time?
Well, that's Rebecca.
Thank you.
Why didn't you just text
Not
me?
doing her
Thank
job.
you. Thank you. I said, well, I'm sure Rebecca will get to that in the near future. But she knew Rebecca would not get to it in the near future. Or even the future, because Rebecca doesn't do her job. So finally, it got to the point, Nina, where I decided I just need to put this shit in an email and be like, schedule Nina for the podcast. This is amidst, no joke, about 15 to 20 other people that I've now sent to her to get scheduled for the podcast.
I scheduled them.
She put you right at the damn top.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
You picked your time.
Oh, yeah.
She picked her time.
Gave me
You gave her some
I gave her the choices.
Oh, the other people didn't
2
want
dates
to
or 3
meet the
dates?
wrath of us early enough. I see.
You gave me 2 dates or 3 dates.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need some time off of work.
Oh,
Today sounds good.
Yeah.
Right.
So our Nini mozzarella stick is here today. This should be interesting. Now, did I ask Nina what she wanted to talk about? Yeah. Did she know? She said no. Let's talk about a bunch of things. Does that sound exactly like Rebecca? Yeah. It's fine. So now I have Rebecca, Nina, and Scott.
Yep.
And our new main man, Joe, back there. Hope Joe works out.
Yeah, I mean, he could be really scared. I mean, he did just listen to our first one.
Was this Joe's first experience with a podcast?
I don't think. Was it your first? No.
No, with ours.
With ours?
Did you
well,
prep him?
obviously
No, I
with
did not.
ours.
I did not
You
prep
didn't.
him for-
He went in cold turkey.
Okay. Okay.
And I didn't prep him at all. I said, no, this is a special podcast.
Oh, that's
He
sweet.
probably really liked it when I said, "Let me see your nipples."
Yeah. And I said, you said, how do your boobs feel? And I said, great. You want to touch them? And you said, yeah.
I sure do.
And he was like, this is my favorite podcast ever. I really love this.
It's one of those podcasts.
So he came out
fine.
and he said, are you Nina? And I said, yeah. And he said, okay. And then he said his name and shook hands. And then he goes, they're just running a little behind. And I said, oh, yeah.
We are never on time.
You definitely knew if you're like,
I'm an
they're a
avid
little-
listener. I'm real clear.
Yeah.
Now
Never
for
on time
Scott,
for anything, guys. Just
Scott's
so you know.
the one I want you to know. I see you, Scott. You're really stepping in around the 60-minute mark. That if we say something funny in that moment, that you're like, that's the end of the podcast. Done.
Right.
I want you to know
what
I
else?
I
I
see
also
you.
know he turns our screens off and puts the legacy thing on there. That's
Yeah.
how I know.
Oh, it's
You're
like
done.
it's a reminder.
You got it.
I'm
You
very
got it.
clear.
That's for real.
Yes, that's what I do.
What
We're
is
done.
that?
We're
What
done.
does that mean?
That means wrap it up.
That means it's time to wrap up.
We're done.
Oh,
okay.
I missed that clue.
Okay,
I
wow.
missed it.
Wow,
I didn't
that
know.
was real clear to me. Real
I thought
clear.
it was a technical error.
I just thought that my shit
Hilarious.
wasn't working.
Hilarious.
I thought Scott pushed the
Nope.
wrong button.
No. Here's the other favorite part. Scott doesn't schedule anybody else on Monday but us.
I know. He knows
we can't
better.
have.
He knows
we can't-
better. He
It
knows
may
better.
be. It may be a time block, but
Yeah,
we all
right.
know. We all know.
Right, it's our best
We
made
may
plans,
show up
but-
on time. We're
already-
definitely going over.
Yeah.
I've already moved my 12:30.
Oh,
Okay,
good.
that's good. That's good.
Good.
Hey,
Good.
appreciate that.
Mhm.
Yeah, weren't in the last show, weren't we talking about elitism, like privilege, and it's fine.
Scott had no clue what he was going to take on.
Doesn't count
No
for
clue.
us. Yeah.
No clue. His whole life has changed.
So Nini needs to.
She picked a card.
Nini
Nini.
needs
Is
to
that your
start us off
I think
with the card. Oh, you've already picked it.
Yeah.
How many times did the cards fall on the
Oh
floor?
my God!
What? Oh, that doesn't look great.
We've never had this before.
What's it called?
great.
Destruction.
Oh, jeez, Nini.
Wow.
Oh, God. Wait. Pause.
Pause. It might be good.
I'm getting nervous.
No, why?
I'm getting nervous. I don't know.
It's a ship going down in flames. It's basically my life.
That
My life.
ship is in some nasty seas.
Acid blood.
That is an acid blood Gulf of
Nina,
Mexico.
What do you got going on here? Why is it
The
the
thing-
Gulf of Mexico?
I don't know. It was the first body of water that came. I was doing some improv.
That's the one that felt warm in my hand.
Wow. Okay.
Oh,
You know what?
excuse me.
It's
Do you want to rub a rock?
Yeah, I need to rub
What
something.
kind? Here, you
something
need
that's
this
going to
one.
not
This is
make
love
me go
for your
burning
heart.
What is
down.
this? What is that?
It's love for your heart.
Roman numeral.
Roman numeral. Okay.
What is that?
Because I took Latin, so I should know this. 10, 5, 1, 16.
Oh,
Geez, those were easy ones.
I don't know.
Scott,
When you start adding L's, that's when I get all confused. The L's and the C's and stuff.
Give me a little more
I think
credit
L is
than that.
50, isn't it? Or is it 20?
I'm impressed that you knew what
Thank
that
you.
was.
1051.
This is really interesting, Nina, for what you said when Aaron rudely cut you off and said, don't talk about it till we're live.
You're,
Give me that!
listen to me.
What?
You said I rudely cut her off, but this was you. Don't talk about it. You can't talk about it yet. You can't talk about it yet.
I think this might be, okay.
Okay.
Are you ready?
You need this back?
Yeah.
Make Nina hold it.
Oh, Nina, you hold.
Yeah. Hold it up for our thousands of viewers.
Do you want to read it because you're better reading?
Yeah, I am a better reader. Okay.
The tower.
Okay. Meaning, destruction.
No, you got to read the whole thing, even the part at the top.
During a tempest at night, a ship is struck by lightning and burst into flames. The castle-like battlements on top of the deck are no protection against this force of destruction from the heavens. The lighting illuminates the sky, heavy with storm clouds, showing how precarious the vessel appears as it struggles to stay afloat in an ocean that is sure to swallow it whole.
Okay. That's important to know. Now, read the card.
Meaning, when the tower falls, you feel your world collapsing around you. Lightning strikes, and there is little you can do other than accept the chaos and change it in the change that it brings. This disaster is not your fault. You may be in shock at first, but this event is also a breakthrough. You are given a chance to see the world in a very different way. Additionally, the card may signify issues with property and challenges to your security. You may be feeling vulnerable financially and in relationships too. Advice: surrender to the universe, give up control, and begin to construct a new way of working, thinking, relating, or living. You now have the freedom to start over and a strong foundation on which to rebuild whatever has fallen. I got tears in my eyes. Neens, here's your keywords. Breakdown, endings, chaos, surrender, breakthrough, beginnings, enlightenment. Wow, that's Nina's card all day.
I know. You're not seeing it.
I don't know. I think it could be a bunch of different things.
Oh, of course.
Like what?
Stuff that, like, leaving a relationship 3 years ago. Relationships with, I don't know.
Not with me, girl. It's sturdy.
With my parents.
Work.
Brother, work. Work is a big one right now.
So basically, that card, my read of that card was, tear that shit down. It's okay to start over. The foundation is strong.
Yes.
That's your read too?
And all the circumstances in your life lead up to who you are as a human being. You know, you were just talking about self-talk, reinforcing from the outside world, things like that, and how that impacts maybe self-esteem, confidence, believability, all those kinds of things. So,
Yeah, what were you saying before the show?
So, like, I've been working really hard to build up my my confidence and stuff like that, and I think I've gotten pretty far from where I used to be a couple years ago. And so at work, there's been a lot of changes, a lot of new staff, and I'm the person that I'm going to give you 100% in anything that I do. Even if it's for myself, I have to give 100%. Because if I don't, I think I've tried to, like, cheat out and not give 100% maybe a handful of times in my life. And every single time I'm like, nope, that doesn't feel right. I have to go back through and I got to do it the right way. So it doesn't matter. I have to give 100% regardless for who it is, what it is. It doesn't matter. And so at work, I'm giving 100%, 100% of the time. And there's a lot of people at work who are not. They're giving less than 50%. And so a lot of the things kind of fall on me. One, because there's a lot of changes going on. I work in the training department. There's a lot of changes going on right now. And so a lot of people don't like change. And it's been the same way for 43 years. And now everything is changing and there's all these new people coming in. So, I mean, people are coming at us with pitchforks. So I've been doing a lot of damage control because I'm the one who's been there for 18 and a half years. And I've built relationships with people, or people know me and they know who I am and what my work ethic is. So that has been able to help. But now that things are starting to get a little bit better, like I was the one doing everything. Oh, well, Nina, you have to show us. Nina, you have to do this. Oh, Nina, I need you to do this. Oh, we don't know how to do that. So this has been since February, and I'm still like doing the majority of the things. And so I actually had a breakdown, and I just blew my lid at my manager, and I was like, I can't keep doing this. This is ridiculous. And everyone in the department you have to have a degree. I don't have a degree. But you have to have a bachelor's or higher. I do not have one, but I'm kind of like grandfathered in, I guess. And so I just lost it on her. And I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing everything. I'm doing my job plus 20 other different things. And not for nothing, I'm sick and tired of people coming at me saying, oh, well, I don't know how to do this, so you're going to have to do it. Oh, you'll have to show me. And I show people, and 3 times later of showing them, oh, I still don't know how to do it. And so I lost it. And I was like, listen, I'm the only person in this freaking department that does not have a degree. So I'm the dumb one. You guys all have bachelor's, master's, and doctorates. So here's the thing. If me, the uneducated one, can figure it out, then you guys can all figure it out too. And she just kind of looked at me and she's just like, you're right. And I'm like, I can't keep doing this. So
she did reinforce that Nina is not dumb. I just want to be really clear, because that was the first thought that I had when she told me this story. I was like, no, she's not dumb.
She did say that you're not dumb. She goes, you are very, very intelligent and you carry this department.
Right.
But the thing is that since we've had that conversation, like for the next 2 days, it was kids' gloves. Everybody treated me with kids' gloves. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And she actually wasn't going to have me go ahead and teach the class that day. I said, no, I will do my job, but you can't keep adding more stuff on top of it because I shouldn't be teaching right now, but I will do it. Just don't add more responsibility on me this week. And
you were saying you were getting a lot of praise, though. You were getting a lot of praise from people.
Yes. So then that happened, and then still the kids' gloves, lots of praise for the next 2 days, and still praises me all the time. Oh my God, thank you so much for doing that. Oh, you're the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But still, we continue to be like, oh my gosh, I need you to do this real quick right now. So it's still praise that you're so great, and I see you, and you're doing a great job, and you're doing too much, and we're going to disperse the workout. But yeah, it's still, I'm getting all this praise, but yeah, at the same time, oh, you're doing really good. By the way, I need you to do this. So now do I believe that you really think that?
So it feels inauthentic.
Correct.
Disingenuine.
Disingenuous.
Yeah, you're just pacifying me. You're basically, giving me a pat on the back, and on top of it, you're giving me a stack of stuff at the same time. So
it's like a sandwich,
yeah. So do you really think that? How do I know you're genuine? How do I know that you really mean what you say? Because you're constantly still adding more and more stuff on there. And, we have one-on-one meetings, and we're going to have a one-on-one meeting. We're supposed to have one once a week. You know how many I've had? 3 since February. Everybody else has their meetings, but Nina's always too busy to do something, or you're too busy when it's time for you to meet with me, and it always gets pushed away.
The question, though, you stated a little bit before the podcast started, I thought was really interesting. You said, I've been working a lot on myself, and I've been really trying to focus on how do I make myself a better person. And now I have a bunch of people who are validating that confidence in me and saying good things to me about, wow, you're really great at this, or you're really smart, or you're really all of these things. And that you're struggling a bit to accept that. Is that what you were saying? Like you're struggling to know, is it that you're wondering if it's authentic, or is it that you are struggling personally to hear it and believe it to be true?
So I think that it's hard to hear it and believe it to be true. And then I started to be like, you know what? I am good at this. I am good at my job. I am, maybe that, they are right. And so it's gotten a little bit easier to accept that and to take that. But now it's just all the time. I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't seem real to me. So am I just being duped? Do you really think that I'm good at that? Now I'm believing that I'm good at something, but I'm really not, because you're just saying that to get me to do more things.
So now
sounds
we're
like a mind fuckery.
You know what it feels like to me? It's inner child. Your inner child. Something happened to you when you were little.
There's a lot of shit that happened to you when I was little.
But you know what I mean? Think about that. Something happened to you when you were little that You were probably praised or scolded or told you're not good enough. You know what I mean? And then almost like gaslighting. And so that stuck with you. Because, I mean, I struggle with the same thing.
So my whole life I've been told I wasn't good enough no matter what I did. So that's why it's so hard to believe it, because I've been knocked down so many times. And then now, and I'm starting to believe it and see it. And then now it's just like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's
it
like
can't possibly be true.
If you really believe that and you see everything that I'm doing, then why are you continuing to keep doing that to me?
Does it matter who says it to you? If
No.
it's your supervisor versus if it's a direct colleague versus if it's me?
No.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I don't experience that at all. I've never experienced that, I don't think, ever in my life. It's really weird. It's really fascinating. So for me, it comes down to, do I value the person who's giving me the feedback? And it is very rare for me to value you enough to give me that feedback. So it's such a small group of people, but once you're in that very small inner circle, you're both in that inner circle, I will value your feedback because I've trusted that your intentions are in the right place, that you are coming from a caring
It's not after
place.
you still try to prove to us that you're still right.
Oh, yeah.
First you do that.
Yeah.
Then we keep going in with, no, you're not.
No, you don't. You both placate me, and then I accept that because that's what I want you to do.
Right. Well, because we know you, we see you.
Nina tries a little bit harder than you do. You are real quick to turn the switch off and be like, oh, you know what? I didn't think of it that way. You're absolutely right. That was after 3 minutes. Nina's still like, no, I really do think. And then you'll just sit there and you'll drink your wine and you'll nod at Nina and you'll be like, it's going to be a lot better for you, Nina, if you're just like, I just haven't thought about it that interesting. Yeah, I really value that opinion, and just bow out, right? So, absolutely.
There's certain times.
I do feel comfortable in our relationship to have those conversations, be like, well, I don't understand that, or that doesn't make sense to me, or this is how I see it, or stuff like that.
Absolutely. But when it comes to the giving of feedback, so this would be a great example. We were talking about this on the last show. I don't care just because you're my supervisor that you have feedback for me. I couldn't give a shit. I don't care.
Based on the title.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob.
Yeah. Bye, Bob. Bye, Bob.
Bye.
Yeah, Bob. You could be the president of the institution. I don't care. You could be like, you know what? I really don't like how you're, and I'd be like, great. I don't like how you look. I don't know what to tell you. There's a lot of things I don't like. I didn't know we were playing an I don't like game, you know? So it takes
I want to get to that point.
Right.
Well, that's the part that's confusing for me is, why are we giving everyone equal validity to be able to impact our own sense of self when those people have not yet earned the right to be there? Why, just because we have a supervisor who says you're doing a really great job, do we immediately think, oh, God, I have won the approval of my supervisor? And why are we also, when a coworker says, girl, you're doing too much, like, you're really showing me up. Why are we like, maybe I am showing them up? Because in my scenarios, I don't care that the supervisor told me I was doing a good job. And I don't care that the, person below me thinks that, I'm doing too much. I'm focusing on what I'm doing and what my intent is. And you both have such a strong self-conviction. I'm trying to figure out why you're not leaning more into that sense of self.
It's not safe.
To lean into your own sense of self?
Correct. Because authority is authority, regardless of how intelligent, smart you are. A title means something. That's just the way it is. In my experience, that's very difficult to reprogram in my brain.
In my case, I think that I had one of my coworkers come to me 3 weeks ago, and he's like, were you a middle child? And I said, no. Are you sure you're not a middle child? I'm like, yeah, I have a brother who's younger than me. And he said, I said, why are you asking? He said, because you always have to try to make things right. You always have to make sure everything goes okay and everybody's happy. And that's a middle child thing. And I said, no. And he goes, yeah, that's definitely a middle child thing. Are you sure you're not a middle child? I'm like, dude, I'm not a middle child. I said, it's called survival of the fittest. And this is what I had to do to make sure that that's what I had to do to survive and to be safe.
Yep.
And so that's, I think, where I am still today is that it's just, I'm a people pleaser. And as long as everything is okay and everybody's happy then I'm okay.
Right.
But what about when they're not?
Then I need to make it okay.
Right. We're
the fixers.
We need to do something different to make it okay. Because at the end of the day, it's our fault, regardless.
And I don't know how to get
time.
I don't know how to not do that anymore.
Agreed.
How to
the same
not
way.
do what?
How
to not be such
be the fixer.
Yeah.
Is it ever possibly the case that it wasn't you?
No.
So everyone has this internal child, right? This internal trauma, these internal things that have happened to them. But that must not be true for other people? Is that what you're thinking? They don't have their own internal trauma and
I don't think about other people at all.
that is impacting you? It's not, if I come in here one day and I'm all ranting and raving about something and you're like, wow, Erin's really out of sorts right now. It's not because I just got in an argument with some other, driver on the street. It's because of you.
100%.
I don't know I don't know.
Blowing my mind.
I don't know if I think that it's always because of me, but I always want to make things right because I always want people to be okay.
Right. So, but
I
that
don't
comes
want
back
them to be burdened with everything that's going on. And plus, if they're happy, then I'm in a good spot. So I'm okay. I'm safe. So I'm going to make your life as easy as I can, and I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to fix the problem.
Exactly.
You said I'm safe.
Yeah.
And you've said I'm safe before. So we're safe when the illusion of comfort is present.
Yes.
Because I say illusion on purpose. It's very possible that Sally, 3 doors down, hates your guts.
Yes.
But is smiling to your face and is making you feel like a really valuable person.
You have to keep your friends close and your enemies closer
but
at all
as long
times.
as you don't know that, you're okay. As long as you don't know Sally's a raging bitch down the hall who really hates you and isn't saying anything, as long as it looks like everything's okay, then at least we're okay. As long as my supervisor's telling me, you're doing a really great job, Nina, but deep down she's writing a behind-the-scenes performance evaluation about the things, how many times you come in late. As long as you don't tell me about those things, we're okay.
I think that if I found out, then it would be pretty devastating because I think that I believed that was the story, that everything was okay. So then that would be a whole nother thing.
You'd be devastated.
Devastated or
And take
not,
that
I don't
on.
know if devastated.
You'd still think that was your fault?
Yes. 100 all day long.
Yeah, because
all day long.
why do you, what did I do? Someone has to do something in order to freaking hate you.
Yep.
You can't just hate me because I walked into the room and you've never met me before.
Oh, well, that's the story of my life. Every goddamn day. But
Wait, what?
all day long. All day long.
What did I do to piss you off? What did I do to hurt you? What did I do wrong? What do I need to do differently?
It doesn't matter what I want or feel at all because that doesn't matter.
Do you see my mouth open right now? I start drooling here in a minute. I am so confused.
I think that's why my superpower is pivoting and flexibility. It does not matter. It doesn't matter what I want.
But it does internally to you.
Right, but
You're
swallow
just
that
willing
down.
to take it all in all the time?
Absolutely.
You're just gonna.
Because anytime that I've
To
stood
what
up,
extent? To shingles, to being in the hospital,
Yes!
to being all these things. We're just gonna continue to take it on the chin.
Yes.
Because someone else is an idiot.
Drawing a boundary or drawing a line in the sand or saying something means I would have to follow through with it. I'm speaking up. I might unintentionally hurt your feelings because I have an opinion. Yeah.
What about intentionally hurt your feelings? And in that case, I'm intentionally hurting your feelings.
Oh, no.
I don't think I can intentionally hurt anybody's feelings.
No. I would never. I would
can't.
never. No.
Where does this come from?
Even with my ex, I couldn't intentionally say something or do something intentionally to hurt somebody.
No.
Even to my brother, who I've pretty much disowned and I don't want anything to do with for the rest of my life.
Still wouldn't. Same with me. I'll never say anything to my dad.
I mean, if he was to die
Never.
tomorrow and they're like, okay, your brother just died, I would not go to the funeral, but I wouldn't
Say
do
anything bad.
anything specifically, I'd say he's a monster. He's a horrible person, but I wouldn't go and do something or say something to his face or behind his back that would get back to him to like intentionally hurt somebody. I would feel horrible about that. I freaking feel bad when I drive down the street and there's a dead freaking animal on the side of the road. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I can't believe you just died. But when that
animal's dead on the side of the road, are you like, did I hit that and just not know?
Yeah.
No.
Like, seriously.
No,
like
but I have hit something before.
That's what I'm hearing you say.
I tell you all the time, you and I are the exact same person.
That is such a great example, right?
Absolutely.
Because that deer that is on the side of the road, I'm like, someone fucking hit that. That's too bad.
No, I feel
don't
horrible.
think to myself,
that's an extreme example.
If it was me.
That was an extreme example, but yes.
But that's what I hear you saying is literally someone can be in their office throwing a mug against the wall and you're like, what did I do?
Yes.
What did I do?
I'm going to go, oh my gosh, are you okay? What do you need from me? What can I do for you? Do you want me to go get you a coffee? Do you need a hug? You need a pat on the back? Let me pick that glass up for you so you don't have to worry about it.
I
wouldn't do that.
To me.
I would be like, oh my God, I did something.
I would. That feels a little different to me. But what I would do...
Depends on how they responded to me when I went to that office.
I'd walk past the door. I'd be like...
You okay?
You need anything? I'm here. And I'd do the eye thing, and then I would walk past. Right? Or depending on who the person was, I might go in and I might be like, I got this. I'd bring humor into it, right? I got this. That's fine. That's nice. Close the door, right? No big deal. I might bring a little humor into it. Never once in that scenario did I ever think it was me.
Depending on what they're upset about or what the situation was.
Even if they are upset, even if it is me, even if I press send on an email and it gets right to there, and then I hear gets right to their, gets right to their office.
And you knew it was a touchy
and I
email?
knew it was free and it was a touchy email and I knew it was for them. And then I hear I'm thinking to myself, wow. If they have something to address with me, they should probably address it.
Oh
but
my
it's
God.
not my problem.
I am sweating.
What?
Oh, I feel like I'm going to puke, right? I would feel like I would
freaking die.
What?
Oh, yes. I'm like so nervous.
You guys
terrified.
are hilarious.
My heart's beating a mile, miles.
I'm going to have diarrhea.
A minute. Absolutely, yes.
I feel
I'm going to puke. I'm going to shit my pants.
Yep.
I'm holding back tears because I feel so vulnerable at that point, and I am just so uncomfortable.
I might even
crawling out of my skin.
I might even in that moment yell out, if you have a problem, come talk to me, room 640.
Yeah.
Of course
I
you
might
would.
in that moment, I might or if I wasn't going to be that loud about it, I might walk past the door and be like, you upset? If you got something to talk about it, let's talk about it. Because in my mind, that the repair, the conversation, that's where the meat is for me. That's where I get closer to you. If you're going to be I almost said the P word. If you're going to be a
kitty cat.
If you're going to be a pause, a little pausey pause in your own, and you're going to throw a fit and you want to get all the attention on you and you're going to be upset because you don't have any behavior management skills, then that's on you. I do not care. I could not care for 1 minute. I ain't tending to that for 1 second. But you want to actually come over to me and be like, that email pissed me off. I'd be like, thank God. Thank you for saying something. I value that. Come take a seat. And you know what? I would get out from behind my desk and I'd come sit right next to you to have that conversation. And I'd be like, lay it on me. What did you hate about it? You'd be like, oh, the intro, or when you said this, or when you saw it like this. And I'd be like, I saw it that way. Well, how did you see it? What was different? The process of working through that for me is where I get closer to you, because that, maybe from my own childhood trauma, is where I can trust that you can hang with hard shit. But I'm not trusting you with anything about myself if you can't hang with hard shit, because I'm hard shit. This is not like, an easy package to deal with, right? Maybe on the surface, right? But like the inner workings, you both know of who I am as a person, is not a simplistic thing. I'm incredibly complex, a little bit bitchy, sometimes difficult to deal with, right? And if you can't hang in these easier moments, I sure as shit am not going to be around you when something hard goes down. And both of us, all three of us, both of you with me, have gone through something where at least at one point we have all sat down and been like, when you said this is what happened and I didn't like it. Right? Did you both feel like you wanted to vomit? Probably.
Yes.
And
probably.
And
but what was the difference?
When we had that conversation at the burger joint, New York Beer Project.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? How many times did I say, are we okay? Are we okay?
I know.
I was freaking terrified. I thought you were going to be pissed off at me, not talk to me for days.
I know.
maybe ever again.
I know.
And I'm like, did I cross any lines? I just had to get it out.
And
I had
all
to tell
you
you, I
did-
had to get it out.
All you did.
See, I'm going to get teary-eyed now because now I'm just
All
like,
you
in my
did in
feelings.
that moment was, I care so much about you that I have to say this because I want to make sure that you know what I know and we're on the same page. I saw that as the biggest level of care and compassion for me because you cared enough to be able to say something about it. You cared. I knew, as I know for both of you, it's so hard to take that risk. So when you do take that risk, I'm like, I see it. I see it. I feel it. I appreciate it. And then when we got in the truck and you said, are you mad at me? Do you remember? I was like, mad at you? Why would I be mad at you?
And then I
you're like,
texted you a couple times
Yeah, you're like,
after that, the next day.
Because you don't trust it.
I said
No,
some
I
hard
know.
stuff to you, right? And I'm like, no, you said some beautiful stuff to me. And I said, what did I say? I said, and you can trust that if I've walked away from this conversation feeling anything but loved and cared about, what am I going to do? I'm going to send you a message or I'm going to call you and I'm going to be like, I got to talk about it. I'm still having feelings left over. So that for all of us is part of that foundation of where we've been able to get to where we are, because you both know at the end of the day, if I'm having a problem with something, you do not have to question whether or not I've come to you to talk about it.
But I think that's the difference, because even though you've been at work for 18 years, it's new people, right?
It's a whole new everything.
And establishing that level of trust and care and whatever, specifically when you're in a hierarchical, however you say that, situation, when we have been raised to know the hierarchy, it's very difficult. It's just always an unsafe territory. Always.
Yes.
Because
never
what
gets
has
safe.
happened in those situations, the hierarchy has yelled at you. The hierarchy has told you you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
The hierarchy
all the
has
things.
not allowed you to.
Yeah, absolutely.
all
of
the
it.
things.
So you've
They
internalized
beat you down.
that.
Yes.
You've been beaten down by
You've been
that.
beaten down mentally, verbally, emotionally, everything.
And it doesn't matter. It could be 5,000 positive things, one little negative thing. It doesn't matter.
No, because words stick with you.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, they say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Wrong.
I'm sorry. Bruises go away, broken bones
Right.
heal, but those words are always there. And I'm not saying that bruises and broken bones are okay, because they're not by any means, but they do heal.
But my guess is, just like with me, my love language is words of affirmation. So that's why it's so incredibly important. Like, that is a big deal.
So it hurts more
Oh.
because that's what you're craving most.
Yes. And that's how I communicate. So when I say something, it's very genuine. If I say something to you, it's not fake. I would say nothing before I say, make up some shit and be like, wow, you're so amazing. That if I say that to you, that's real.
I think one of the big things too is that I just always wanted to be seen. I wanted people to see me for who I am
Yes.
and what I have to offer and not what I don't have.
Yes.
And I feel that so many people in my life have only seen what I don't have to offer.
And
that has
reinforce that.
always, yes, that has always been used against me. And everything has always been conditional.
Yep.
My whole life with everybody except for where I am right now.
You talk
You
about
are not-
that all
you
the
are not-
time.
Yep.
You are not conditional.
Conditional.
Laura is not conditional.
Yep.
Everybody else, well, Carter, of course.
Oh, yeah. That little
I'm
shit.
pretty sure you would.
I'm conditional?
No. But other than that, every single person in my whole entire life has been conditional. So
You bring that up
to
a lot.
Get a little bit of that unconditional and then have to worry about everybody else being conditional.
Right.
That's also something really tough to have to,
Manage.
work. Yeah.
It is so
sad
much
to
energy.
me. It's so sad to me that unconditional is such a rarity. And when we first started this podcast, I was like, I just don't understand X, Y, and Z. And you're like, what you don't understand is that people aren't like you. People are not unconditional. People are conditional. And so, but then I don't know if in my own life I've weeded out the conditional people, or, I don't know what the word is. I've figured out who the conditional people are really early, and I will keep them at a very far distance, but they will think they're my best friends. right? So I still make you feel like $1 million, but I'm very clear you're conditional. I'm not going further with you. I'm not whatever. But the people that I have surrounded myself, maybe this is just luck. Like I'm very lucky to have this. I would feel the people that are my closest friends are massively unconditional. So I could name for you 4 or 5 people that are so unconditional in my life. It would not matter what had happened, what happened in our relationship. But if you only feel that you have a limited number of unconditional people in your life, you have to be walking around nervous, watching yourself, watching your words, trying to fit into a certain mold, expending energy in a place where it's directed in the right direction so that it doesn't come back to bite you in the ass. That has to be a tremendous weight to carry.
It's exhausting. And also, like I said earlier, I give 100% of everything. So it doesn't matter what type of relationship I have with you, whether you're my niece or my nephew or a friend or a best friend or a significant other or a coworker, even coworkers. I may not like you, but you're not going to know that. And I'm going to give you everything that I can possibly give you. I'm not going to hold back from anything.
You're also, even if you don't like this person, which is the part that surprises me, going to go out of your way to make sure that this person is comfortable at all times.
Absolutely.
Yes. And even if they're unhappy and there's something going on, then I feel like, oh my gosh, I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to be going through something tough or to be sad or to be angry or to get in a fight with your significant other or whatever it may be. And I know how that makes me feel. So I want to make you feel better right now because it sucks.
In those cases, though, the sad part for me is that it's not necessarily about that person and you wanting that person to feel okay. It's about trying to calm your inner child to make sure that you're at a homeostasis at all times. And so in a way, it's, I'll use the word disingenuous. It's definitely not intentionally disingenuous.
But it is.
But everything you're doing is walking around trying to make sure that your own inner child is okay all the time through the people pleasing of others.
That's right.
It's not because you just love that coworker so much or you see the best in him or you just wish that he could get there. Maybe it is a little bit in the beginning, but I wonder how the narrative changes if you're walking through these scenarios and you notice yourself people pleasing and you take a moment and you say, what part of me is unseen right now? Or what part of me needs to be healed? Or what part of me needs to be okay right now? Because it's not okay. That's an EMDR, DBT type technique, right?
NLP.
Literally, EMDR is like a tapping kind of thing. It's a very present in the moment when you're experiencing that, because you have to notice when you're people pleasing. You have to know when you're doing it, right? In that moment, if you change that narrative to say, what part of me is not okay right now, instead of what part of me needs to help Sally over here, clean up her mug. I'd be curious if you tracked that in a tally system, how often that happened for you during the day. That's going to give us an idea of how much that inner child needs to be healed.
I think that what you just said made a lot of sense because I think that I react to people how I wanted people to react to me.
That's right.
Or how I want them to be supportive of me when I'm in that role. So that makes total sense.
The last part I want to talk about in our remaining 8 minutes or so is one of the cool things I think that we have between the three of us is that we are 3 women that have very, very, very close knit relationships. You have a very close relationship with me. You have a very close relationship with me, but we can all exist in the same space and that there's no jealousy, there's no negativity, there's none of that.
There's definitely jealousy when you two go shopping and don't include me.
Well, I can tell you that you guys have never included me in any of your shopping days. So
this
always-
has
they're never
gone
planned.
right downhill. Okay, we will mediate this. Not a problem. Remember that time you and I went shopping?
Yeah, you texted me.
I said to you, can you please pick this up from Rebecca's house? And you're like, yeah. I said, listen to me. She is going to say to you, where are you going? And you're going to say, oh, well, we're going to whatever place. I said, you're going to resist the urge in that moment to say to her, you can come with us if you
totally
want
would
to.
have too.
I know you would have. Because
I didn't want her to feel left out.
Rebecca's going to be standing there like this.
And she was.
She's, where are you guys going?
Like, what are you doing today?
What are you doing? You got
sounds really fun.
Oh, that sounds so awesome. Is that an open spot I see in the car?
And I think you had texted me and said, just tell her that she's going to be okay. So I think that my exact words were, Erin said you're going to be okay. and you said, I'm like,
and then there's an occasional text throughout the day, like, oh, you guys having a great time?
You guys having a nice time?
And then remember we had to call her because we had a question about something.
So mad.
And then you come on, because I have you on my speakerphone on my car. And so Nina's in the front seat and I call you and it doesn't even ring twice. And you're like, what, you guys call me, tell me what a great time you're having?
No, you said, tell me about the great time you guys had. And you said, oh, we're still going.
Whatever.
It's fine. We'll process that later. I do think there's a really interesting, unique piece of that sometimes people struggle with, specifically with me, because I have such close, connected, deep relationships with people in my life that it can be very confusing to people that how can I have that close of an amazing relationship with Nina and then the very next day go over to Rebecca's house and have equally as deep and meaningful, but yet such a different relationship. And the thing that you guys do that I think is very rare, especially for women, is that neither one of you spends time comparing your relationship with me or about like where you are at in a hierarchy or where you're at in terms of your level of connectedness. And so I'm curious about that. Is that because you're just so solid in our friendship? Is that because you both think that you're higher than the other person and you're happy there? Like, what is that?
I love that you have close relationships with other people. I love that. And I think that's why I want to be a part of it, because I love seeing the love and the bond and the inside jokes and all that. I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. I want to be part of that. I think it's great. I love it.
I just know that you've been friends with Rebecca forever. Like, there's no competition there, obviously.
You just know your place?
I know my place, but I also know that, no, seriously, like, I'm not here to try to take the place of anybody or to outdo anybody. I enjoy the time that we have together and the relationship that we have, which I think over the years has gotten so much more closer than it has ever been.
Yeah. For sure.
But I appreciate that, and I don't feel threatened in any way because I know that you are going to have your time. Ooh, what was that?
We're not going to have much of man.
You're going to have your time with me. You're going to have your time with Rebecca. You're going to have your time with Renee. You're going to have your time with Mark. You're going to have your time with whoever you're with. Mm-hmm. But it's always going to be different. And you get different things from each person that you're with. And you have different experiences.
Right.
Yeah. And I, from
the only thing that I was like, what the hell?
I can't wait.
What?
She went to freaking SeaWorld with me years ago.
Stop it.
But she's like,
you claimed you didn't even know what it was.
We did? I didn't go there.
I didn't remember.
I had to show it,
Hilarious. You had to prove it to her with pictures?
Yeah.
You did too.
I know.
That's funny.
That's why I keep you all separate.
Yeah, that's right. That's
But I'm like, wait a minute. She's like, oh, I've never been there. I'm like, you did, because we went and spent the day at Discovery Cove.
I remember you did that.
And the tickets, Discovery Cove tickets come with a ticket to Busch Gardens and a ticket to SeaWorld. So we went to all three.
Yes. That's the time I picked you guys up from the airport.
Oh, yes.
See?
That's hilarious.
You guys even went on a trip without me.
Nina comes busting out the pictures. I'm there like swimming with a dolphin. She's like, do you remember? We were freaking there.
Oh, we did? I'm like, yeah.
That's really funny.
I didn't remember that. So apparently I'm a liar and I didn't know. All right. I'm going to do something uncanny here and I'm going to let you pick our last affirmation card.
That's a lot. That's a lot of.
If you two bitches go out to lunch without me after this, I'm going to be pissed. You already have it planned. You guys are assholes.
I thought you were going.
No.
Oh, Jesus.
What, you could cancel your plans?
Here.
You go cancel your plans?
I know. I got a doctor's appointment. I got to get my acid blood. You guys are...
That girl is poison.
I know that my dreams are bigger than my fears. I'm going to take risks. Like going to lunch.
Yeah.
Going to lunch.
And I see it posted on Facebook. Look, with my bestie. No, I'm just kidding.
We're totally putting that in the Facebook group. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having
me.
me.
It was really great to have you. Glad you came in. Love this little unprompted conversation. We got some good little juice from that lemon.
I loved that.
Me too. Isn't empathy amazing?
Well, we're amazing. I don't know about all this empathy stuff.
That's fine. I accept you wherever you are.
Oh, God.
I love you.
I love you too.
And if you love us, please like and subscribe to More Love, the Power of Empathy podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
See you next time.